Hi everyone, welcome or indeed welcome back. So today's video is going to be the first in a series of videos on assurance cases. And today I'm going to talk about the purpose of an assurance case. Now, in this series of videos, if I do slip into bad habits and start talking about safety cases, please forgive me. I crave your indulgence. I deal with safety cases as a specific instance of assurance cases a lot. If I do use the word safety case in this series, just substitute the word safety for any other property of interest. Okay, so here goes the purpose of an assurance case. Now, when we run the masterclasses, we always ask the cohort to give us their interpretation and their thoughts on the purpose of an assurance case. And more often than not, one member will offer the well-versed edict from certain standard or standards and say that the purpose of an assurance case is to provide a structured argument supported by a body of evidence, blah, blah, comprehensive, blah, blah, systems, blah, blah, for a given operating environment. You know the one. And there's an element of truth to that, but that is not the purpose of an assurance case. You can't state the purpose by just adding the purposes to provide onto that. So what is the purpose of an assurance case? Well, I find it useful to think about the why, the what, the who, and the when of an assurance case if we're thinking about its purpose. So let's consider the why. The why is the most important aspect of the purpose of an assurance case, and it's actually where most assurance cases fail right at the beginning. If you are compiling assurance case because it's a deliverable or a contractual necessity, or perhaps your boss has just told you to write one without giving you any reasons as to why, then you're just creating shelfware. The why is really, really key. And the whole point of the why is to communicate to the relevant stakeholders that assurance argument with all the supporting evidence that talks about the properties of interest for the entity that you're considering. And why you're doing that is in essence to assist and inform decisions. Regardless of what your why is, it should always be in support of decision making. Those decisions could be in terms of the acceptance of the concept of your safety strategy itself. Somebody has to decide that that is the correct manner of arguing it. It could be a decision that says, do we release this system, this entity, this application into service? It could be decisions on whether more evidence is required for the safety case. I've done it already, assurance case. It could be a decision as whether you're going to retire it, whether you're going to prioritize actions. Whatever the why is, it will always inform decision making of some form. So then we come on to the what. And the what is where that mantra comes into. An assurance case is a top level claim or series of claims that through structured argumentation ultimately ends in evidence that supports the claims being made, and there will be justifications and some very explicit assumptions made throughout that case as well. So that is the what. Think mantra, that is the what of the assurance case. So we then move on to the who. And in terms of the who, we are looking at the variety of stakeholders for that assurance case. There are many different types of stakeholders, and the first will be your audience. If we think about the audience, you will have some stakeholders within the audience who will consume the assurance case. You have audience that will react to the assurance case, and you will have some audience who will make the decisions that your assurance case is supporting. You've also got those who will identify the impact of the decisions taken on your assurance case. We then have the assurance case author or the assurance case editor. And quite often these stakeholders don't own the assurance case, nor do they own the risk that may be involved if it is a safety case. We've got contributors to the assurance case. So here we're thinking about the stakeholders who will assist you with your argumentation, your strategy, provide you with evidence, provide you with claims. And then, of course, we've got the interested parties and those impacted parties. They're all stakeholders. Each of these stakeholders has a different interest in your assurance case, and each of these stakeholders will require different levels of detail in your safety case, and some may not wish to see or need to see all of it, but they will all have different needs when it comes to the presentation. So maybe you need to think about kind of different views you can create to suit the different stakeholders, whether they be audience, contributors, or impacted and interested parties, or even the audience itself. And finally, we're on to the when. So first question of an assurance case when is, do we need one? If we do need one, when does it need to be delivered? When does it need to be delivered incrementally, perhaps in support of decisions? When do we need to deliver the assurance case in terms of milestones and maturities and different maturity points? So if we're thinking about the purpose of an assurance case, we're thinking about the why do we have an assurance case, what the assurance case is and does, who needs the assurance case, and when do we need it? So hopefully that's been a useful insight into the purpose of assurance cases. Coming up next, we'll then look at the how of assurance case. And actually, it's really disappointing because it's not a W. So instead of how, we can have the where, the what. We will have the how of assurance cases. And looking at the how, we'll look at how assurance cases are created, how they're used, how they're reviewed, and how they're maintained. But all that's for future videos. So please do keep watching. Please share. Please do subscribe if you haven't. Should you do that? Come on. All the cool kids want to be safety scientists. Cheers, guys. Take care. See you soon.